Hey there YouTube, Tiddlywinks is here. I'm going to be reading off my screen here. I'm going to do a video on concealed carry laws and all of Florida's gun laws, just because I want to put it out there on the table for everybody in Florida so you know what you can and can't do. I've heard some really silly stuff over the years, and I figured I'd clarify everything. None of it's really unreasonable, so I'll go ahead and start. Let me minimize my screen here so I can see what I'm looking at. Okay, in the state of Florida, you need no permit to purchase rifles or shotguns. There's no registrations of rifles or shotguns. There is no permit to carry rifles or shotguns. You are not allowed to carry rifles and shotguns. Okay, handguns, permit to purchase, no. Registration, no. Licensing of owners of handguns, no. Permit to carry, yes, you can carry a handgun and you do have to get a permit. And in the state of Florida, we are a shall issue state. If you meet the requirements, you get the gun and the permit. Purchase and possession. No state permit is required to possess or purchase a rifle, shotgun, or handgun. It is unlawful for a convicted felon to buy or have in possession a firearm. Drug addicts, alcoholics, mental incompetents, and vagrants are not allowed to have a weapon or firearm. Persons who have in their care, custody, any firearm or ammunition, if the person has been issued a final injunction and that is currently in force and effect, restraining that person from committing acts of domestic violence. You also cannot, even if you have a misdemeanor for domestic violence in the state of Florida, even if it's not a felony, if you have a domestic violence charge, you're not getting a gun. It is illegal to sell, barter, lend, transfer a firearm or other weapon with any other than an ordinary pocket knife to a minor less than 18 without his parents' permission, or to any person of an unsound mind. It's illegal for a dealer to give any sort of weapon to a minor. It's illegal for a minor to possess a firearm other than an unloaded firearm at his home unless engaged in lawful activities. No licensed gun dealer, manufacturer, or importer shall sell or deliver any firearm to another person until they have completed the potential buyer or transferee supplied or received approval from the Department of Law Enforcement by means of a toll-free call. Department of Law Enforcement shall destroy the records of your background check and all that and your approval within 48 hours. And exempt from the instant check are licensed dealers, manufacturers, importers, collectors, persons with a concealed carrying license, law enforcement, correctional probation officers. So when you guys get one of these, which is the Florida concealed carry license, then you no longer have to do the background check. You hand them your license when you buy. There's no more waiting period, no more none of that. You just hand them the license, you get your gun, with obviously with the money. And if you don't have the license, then there is a 3-day waiting period, not including weekends and holidays, so it is 3 business days for buying a handgun. Carrying a gun. Unless under the exemptions, it is unlawful to openly carry on the person any firearm, or to conceal carry without a license. So to conceal carry, you have to have a license. To open carry, there's a couple things you can be doing, and you can open carry to and from. Most people don't. You can't legally open carry all the time, but you can legally open carry if it's in your home or place of business, If you're an enrolled member of a club organized for target and trap shooting, or while at or going to the shooting practice. If you are going fishing, camping, or hunting, you are allowed to open carry a firearm, or going to or from hunting, fishing, and camping. If you are doing target shooting under safe conditions in a safe place, or going to or from, or target practice at an indoor range, or going to and from, you may open carry. Persons traveling by private conveyance, if the weapon is securely encased, or in a public conveyance, if the weapon is securely encased and not in the person's manual possession. So that basically means in a holster in your center console, or in a holster between the seats. Whatever, it has to be securely encased, so just a snapped holster, or it could be open in your glove box, things like that. Don't be dumb and just throw a gun up under your seat. It doesn't work that way. You may open carry if you are engaged in the business of manufacturing, repairing, or dealing in firearms. That does not mean that if you're in the business of that you can always open carry. That means while you're doing the business. Military law enforcement personnel obviously can open carry. It is lawful to possess a concealed firearm for self-defense or other lawful purposes within the interior of your house without a license, if the firearm is securely encased or not readily accessible for immediate use. A firearm other than a handgun may be carried anywhere in a private conveyance when such a firearm is carried for lawful use. This exemption does not authorize the carrying of a firearm concealed on a person. So if you're in your yard or sitting on your porch, you can have a shotgun laying next to you, but you cannot conceal it. Pretty much simple. An application for a license to carry a handgun concealed is made to the Department of Agriculture. The license is valid for 5 years and is honored throughout the state. Application shall be completed under oath on a form by the Department of Agriculture and shall include the applicant's name, address, place of birth, race, date of birth, and occupation. And to get your application, this is the requirements: 21 years old, you don't suffer from mental or physical infirmity which prevents the safe handling of a firearm, you're not a convicted felon, has not within the 3-year period preceding submission for the application has been convicted of a crime of violence or committed for drug abuse, or convicted of a minor drug charge. So if you've done that in 3 years, any of those things, you cannot apply. Has not been adjudicated, sorry, my eyes are bad, guilty even with a suspended sentence for a felony misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, unless 3 years has elapsed since probation or the record is sealed or expunged, is not a chronic or habitual drunkard, is not currently under any injunction for domestic violence, and the state he desires a legal means to carry a concealed weapon or firearm for lawful, states that he desires to carry the weapon or firearm for lawful self-defense. So in the state of Florida, you can carry weapons or firearms. It's not just firearms. And let me get into the little concealed carry part here, so I can tell you what all the laws for concealed carry are here.